How do you identify the weakest link in a system? That's a good question, and it comes from Alton in Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles. I'm always looking for ways to improve my system by trying to find the weakest link in the system. That isn't always easy to do. Do you have any tips on how to find the weak link in your hi-fi system? Well, I suppose in everything we do, we try and segment our systems, our thoughts down into categories. And we realize that in some categories, some are going to be stronger than others. Certainly in a system, you have links within that system that are not as strong as the others. So with that out of the way, let me suggest that a very likely place to start is the speakers. Most people don't know this, but the speakers are typically the weakest link in your system. And I don't care what kind of speakers you have. Take my speakers. I've got the Infinity IRS 5s, 4 columns, 1.2 tons of loudspeakers, and yet I would have to say, even though it's one of the top 2 or 3 reference systems ever built in the history of high-end audio, it's still the weakest link in my system. My electronics are generally far stronger in terms of our mission of do no harm. Okay? If what we want to do as audiophiles is enjoy music to its fullest extent, to get everything out of it we possibly can, then we have to do as little damage to the signal as is humanly possible. And the greatest contributor to signal degradation are our loudspeakers. They're the ones that have the highly measurable distortion. They're the ones that are not even close to being flat in their frequency response, their phase response, their amplitude, the dispersion, the whole bit. Your speakers are clearly going to be the weak link. That said, there's, what do you do? There's not a whole lot that can be done, because even if you have one of the best pair of speakers in the world, like I do, it's still going to be the weaker link in the system. So then we have to revert back, because I think Alton likely already knows this, or I don't know. But then we have to look back, well, where else can we optimize system parameters? If we've started with the loudspeakers and we've put in the best we can possibly do, and I'm going to assume that you have, and recognizing that they will be the weak link in your system, then we have to look to the other components within the system. In the first place, I would likely start with is your source. If you look at your sources, you might have a clue as to what kind of quality you're getting out of them. Our sources vary from CDs to turntables to servers to, a tuner or whatever else you might have for a source. Those are typically very difficult to engineer properly. And they could be, in my opinion, the second biggest source of degradation or inability to pull everything possible off of the media without degradation. So speakers are going to be your weakest link. Second weakest link, most likely, your source gear. And from there, you have your amplification gear and the power products and the other things that you're going to be examining. But that's kind of the order in which I would look at, and how would you determine those things? Really, other than reading, other than research and trying different types of devices, you're going to have to just swap, mix and match and swap. Many manufacturers, us included, are happy to let you try out products at home. If you think that we make a better source, come over to psaudio.com and arrange to have us send you something. And we do send you a brand new product. You throw it in and you see. Is it better? Does it qualify for chewing up some of my resources in order to make my system better? And if yes, fine. If not, send that sucker on back. That's really the only thing you're going to be able to do, is to learn, as I have told you, where to look, and then you got to start swapping. Got to start making assumptions and see if you can't come up with the right answer. It's a tough one. Thank you, though. Good question. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.